Hello and welcome to the front yard garden, which I think of as a sharing garden, a victory garden, yeah, an edible landscape. And this is our straw bale that we inoculated with pink oyster mushrooms, and they are going off. They're so tasty. We tried some last night. Oh, look who else is here. Sapphire. Hi, sweetie. Oh, look at you. Anyways, this garden has been a long time coming. I've planted a lot of trees here. So these two trees were Christmas trees. And then over here is a fig tree. Somebody brought me a slip, just a cutting. And it has produced so many pounds of delicious figs. And I can't wait for this year's harvest. I can tell it's going to do well. On this side, I'll show you. Look at these. All down the whole branch. So that's going to be great. We also allowed this volunteer mulberry to grow because the original shade tree in this yard was very old and it had become hollow and it was going to fall and break our house. So that turned into the composting stump. And I've just been breaking it down with flowers, and I put yard waste in there. And finally, some plants have taken root. And then the next tree that I planted out here is this red guava. It's a rare guava, and it makes these almost like a pineapple strawberry flavor. Absolutely delicious. And then next, I added this squash wattle, is what I call it. And this is the first year that it's actually been planted. I put it in last fall and did kind of a modified hugel composting pile technique. And now it's got zucchinis coming off. I've already picked 2. It's got buttercup squash running over. And then I believe this is a yellow crookneck. And there's kale. I've harvested a few colanders full of kale. And then for some reason this year, these nasturtiums have gone wild. Yeah. So continuing with the thought of this being a victory garden. Oh, I almost forgot to show you this. That this moringa tree is finally in bloom. And I've just learned about regenerative gardening this year. So I've been trying to plant things to build the soil, use things. Here's the other moringa. And as you can see, there's 4 different types of squash and 2 sweet potato plantings. And the moringa is looking good. And then here's my eye level. They're taller. Brisk, come, stay in your yard. Yeah, so this soil is not the best, and I didn't do much for it, so I do need to come back and fertilize it again. But there's a lot of beets there, and the bush beans are starting to finally get taller. So I will probably come back and stake those so that they don't get droopy. There's a small squash coming up there. There's some okra. There's some cowpeas. This is one of my tomato clones. That's a purple Cherokee. It's a little droopy. Hopefully feeding it will perk it up. Another buttercup squash, and that one's in bloom. And another okra tucked in. And nasturtiums and marigolds here and there. But I am so excited about the total wall. The wall of sunflowers. Now this is incomplete, but it kind of shows you, since I ran out of the weed cloth, I dug a trench around the perimeter, just like I did on this side. And I just took and flipped, the shovel loads into the center. And there's some piled up yard waste and sticks and leaves and stuff. And then cardboard on top. Oh, I'm sorry, I also put some rabbit straw. Cardboard on top of all that. And then the weed cloth. And I've got watermelon seedlings and comfrey seedlings. And that's what I'm going to plant out on top of this. I'll just punch holes and put some potting soil in with the seed starts, and I will cover this with melon vines and comfrey. Comfrey, I've learned is a good green manure, and it's also an excellent fodder for the rabbits. So I'm hopefully planting enough to share with my neighbors. I want to make a cute little giving stand and put free seeds, free plant starts, free vegetables, and share your own if you'd like to. That's the concept. And over here, Bobby, your lovely mixed color sunflowers are coming up. Ooh, and it looks like Suzanne's hollyhocks are also coming up. So I just kind of sprinkled them. We'll see how they do. The dog has walked on them. And Sapphire's here. Now it used to be mostly an herb garden. I was getting a bad fungus. It has a terrible name. It's called Aborta porus. Ooh, I think I see some. Yes. Look at that. That's the hideous monstrosity. Aborta porus. It is a tree-killing fungus. So it bubbles up, and it's fleshy, and it gets huge. It gets like serving... the cat's rubbing on me. It gets serving platter sized, and then it puffs out horrible spores. So I'm going to have to uproot that, and I pour hydrogen peroxide water on the ground. I might actually come and ground torch in case there's spores, but it's so challenging. I should have done it before the autumn leaves fell. I didn't get around to it, and now there's spore all in my spiral. It's a spore spiral. Oh my god, that oregano smells good though, and the bees love it. Well, that is my front yard garden. I have more wildflower seeds that my wonderful friend Julie sent to me. They have not sprouted yet, but underneath these roses. We rented this and cleared out a lot of clutter from the shed area, so I cannot wait to have that space cleared entirely and have more wonderful homestead areas to share with you. I hope you have a beautiful day. Much love. Addendum. Here are the propagated sweet potato starts I'm going to put underneath the other moringa where the mushrooms failed to grow. And then here are the watermelon starts and comfrey starts. I have a lot of comfrey starts. Super excited about those. And just a couple of cukes. And then these are the wonderful Cherokee purples that I've propagated. I'm so thrilled to know I can do that. I can take a $4 or $5 plant, and I've got 6 that I propagated off of that. So looking forward. I'll keep you posted. Have a beautiful day. Much love.